The frontier myth. The term frontier myth refers to the usage of romanticized elements of the American frontier and American westward expansion in culture, including but not limited to filmmaking. Various tropes, cliches, character archetypes, ideologies, and even the overarching visual aesthetic of the American West, circa 1700 to 1900, are utilized in films, novels, and sometimes even politics. Kennedy's New Frontier speech, for example. Sometimes the usage is literal, as a setting or inspiration for characters, while other times the usage is rhetorical, to apply to or invoke a feeling of conquest and technological or societal advancement that would be associated with the frontier. Like most myths, the frontier myth has origins in history. The American frontier and westward expansion were a violent and tumultuous period where the civilized had to undergo a reduction to a much more basic standard of living and regenerate themselves through conquest and exploration of new territory. Events such as Custer's Last Stand, the Wounded Knee Massacre, and larger conflicts like the Mexican-American War are just a few examples. The entire period of westward expansion until Manifest Destiny was achieved, and shortly thereafter, serves as the framework for the frontier myth. As mentioned previously, the frontier myth has heavily influenced American media and filmmaking, but it has a more far-reaching impact. The association of an open frontier with technological and societal progression is deeply embedded in the American psyche, as the country's greatest periods of advancement occurred during the frontier period, and were often spurred on by the demands and challenges of westward expansion. Consequently, the idea of a frontier being a harbinger of progress serves as an ideology that new frontiers must be sought out and conquered for the good of the nation, and a powerful rhetorical tool. The setting of Stagecoach is derived entirely from the frontier myth and is established with wide sweeping landscape shots of the open desert. Landscape shots are a convention of the Western genre, and Stagecoach is no exception. The town where most of the characters are introduced is symbolically the last bastion of civilization before they head out into hostile territory, and it too is based on Western frontier towns. Note the frontier architecture, carriages, and abundance of horses. The stagecoach itself, while obviously based on real stagecoaches from frontier times, also has a symbolic meaning. The stagecoach serves as a bubble in which Western civilization is preserved. Inside is civilization and outside is savagery. The stagecoach encapsulates the civilized. The characters of Stagecoach are drawn from character archetypes found in frontier times. The bandit, the banker, the prostitute, and the town doctor. The Ringo Kid in particular is the archetypal outlaw with a heart of gold, while the Plummer brothers are the other side of the Western outlaw coin. The Ringo Kid, stranded at the side of the road. Stagecoach pits the civilized against the uncivilized, Apache Indians, who serve as the primary antagonists of the movie. They're depicted as merciless and are usually silhouetted against the sky or moving menacingly in pursuit of the stagecoach. The Apaches, led by Geronimo. The occupants of the stagecoach are shown to be superior in combat as they engage and hold off dozens of Apache despite being few in number. Civilization triumphs over savagery. The stagecoach crew shoots with deadly accuracy even at moving targets.